All right, so now we are going to be doing an introduction to the periodic table. And these on the bottom, you have 5 learning goals for this presentation. So this is the periodic table when we break it up based on their characteristics, and we can label these elements as metals, nonmetals, and metalloids. The metals are shown here in blue, the metalloids are in green, and the nonmetals are in yellow. These that say recently observed, those are actually pretty recently discovered elements, and we have not classified them yet as a metal, metalloid, or nonmetal. So metals are elements that are generally shiny, or we can also call this luster. They are solid, mostly at room temperature, and malleable, which is shapeable, and ductile, which also could mean stretchy, like you can stretch and shape them, and they are good conductors of heat and electricity. So another way we can think of conductors is transporters. So they're really good transporters of heat and electricity. That's why we use metal to usually line wires to transfer electricity. Nonmetals are elements that are generally gases, or they are solid, but they are really brittle. Okay, so that brittle is like this example up here, means that it doesn't really hold together very well. It breaks apart really easily. Those are usually crystalline solids, which is exactly like it sounds, crystalline. So they look like crystals, and they are generally poor conductors of heat and electricity. So we do not use nonmetals to transfer or transport things like heat or electricity. Metalloids are kind of the hybrid between the two. Metalloids have physical and chemical properties of both metals and nonmetals, such as silicone and germanium. Those are just a couple of examples, but you will see that sometimes it is hard to identify if something is a metalloid because it will have properties of both a metal and a non-metal substance. Now we are going to look at some of these sections of the periodic tables and some group labels, okay? So our first one, alkali metals. All of our alkali metals are located right here, okay? Then when we are looking at our alkaline earth metals, those are all located right here. Then we have our transition metals, and all of our transition metals are right in here. Okay, then we get into our inner transition metals. Those are down here. Then we've got our halogens. Those are kind of hard to see with my highlighting, but they are right here. And then we're going back to our noble gases, and that is our last row, including hydrogen. So these are just some ways that we can classify some of the elements by breaking up the periodic table. Now I'm going to teach you guys a really cool trick when we are looking at valence electrons. So those are our electrons on our outermost shell. So for example, if we've got something like this would have 4 valence electrons, okay? Because they have 4 electrons on our outermost shell. So there's actually a super easy trick to figuring out how many valence electrons something might have, and we base that off of their group number or their family. So all of these have 1 valence electron. All of these have 2. We skip through the metals. This column has 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So all of our noble gases over here have 8 valence electrons, and that is the pattern all the way through, except for our metals here. Now we are going to talk about reactivity. This is the chance that something will react, okay? So the chance that something will react with something else. Now your chances go up of reacting if you are closer to this side and if you are closer to the bottom. Okay, so over here, this corner is the least reactive, and down here is the most reactive. Okay, so the closer you get on the periodic table to this corner here, the more reactive you are. Now this is a good point to write down any questions you have in your notebook, and please feel free to ask at the beginning of class tomorrow. Thank you and have a good night.